Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of The Clue, the video podcast where I interview young entrepreneurs about their inspiring journey and exciting products. We also dive into the latest trends in athleisure, emerging tech, and pop culture. So if you're passionate about these topics, be sure to subscribe to my channel and sign up for my newsletter for biweekly insights. So today I'm very thrilled to have Quinn as our guest. So Quinn is a Berkeley alum, go Bears, and he has an interesting transition from venture capital to entrepreneurship. And he's the co-founder of a very interesting, cool social app called WanderSocial. Yeah, welcome, Quinn. Yeah, first, can you please just tell us a little bit about your journey, maybe before co-founding WanderSocial? Yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Quinn, and we're building WanderSocial, and we use AI to help you find deep connections. So I guess a little bit about my journey. I actually started my first company when I was in college. It was a company very similar to Instacart. Actually, before we heard about Instacart, we had the same idea. It was in Waterloo, Ontario, Canada. It's a small town of just 100,000 people, I think. So
Mhm.
it never really scaled too significantly. But when I was a college student, it kind of, we were profitable throughout the time we were operating it and give me a experience of what building products is like. And after that, I worked in a venture firm in Toronto for about 3, 4 years. That was actually very interesting. We were talking to a lot of great founders who have invested in a lot of frontier technology companies in Canada and across actually North America as well. But when AI came out, the first, maybe it might not even be the first wave of AI, but an early wave of AI when BERT first came out in 2017, 2018, I felt, it's going to be the future. And I started building another company. The company was called Leapbox. We got into YC summer 2018, but eventually I got kicked out of it because we had a co-founder split. So that was another story. We use projectors to turn entire classroom and every wall into a big giant screen, and we use computer vision to track children's body movements so that they get to interact with digital content in a more physically active and more fun way. So that company obviously failed. I think we're a little bit too ahead of the time. Um, but it was still, I think it's a fun idea. So after that, I went back to school, got my MBA at Berkeley, and since then, I've been working in enterprise AI startups. So I worked at MoveWorks AI, Snorkel AI. They both become unicorns, so value over $1 billion. But then last year, it's quite an interesting turn. Like you can see that my journey has been filled with all sorts of change of directions. I was in deep tech in VC investing, then I was in AI education. Then for the past 4 years, I was in enterprise AI, and they were doing enterprise AI is all the rage nowadays. So they're doing so well, but you know last year I decided I want to build a consumer AI app, and here I am, WanderSocial.
That's great. That's great. That's wonderful. And I'm just wondering why social app? Do you think now like Gen Z need another social media app because there's tons of them? So tell me more about like Wonder Social. Yeah.
Hey, that is a great question. That is a great question. Do we actually need another social app? See, the thing is, we have, Gen Zs have a ton of social apps, but compared to my generation, I'm old, right? Like I repeatedly hear that there's a Gen Z loneliness epidemic. I don't know if it's actually true, but I do feel that people are getting tired of Instagram. People are just kind of performing for each other more than they're communicating, right?
Hmm.
Think about that. People are kind of putting on filters on their pictures. They're kind of just showcasing that, maybe even like fleeting moments of happiness. And a lot of times people don't actually use those platforms to talk deep, to go deep, to actually express who they really are.
Hmm.
So that's what I've been thinking. Like, what if we have a social platform where people actually be their authentic self, and based on that, connect with each other, right? So we have Be Real, right? So Be Real has done pretty well, partly because I think people are just, they want something more authentic. So do people need a new social app? I think yes. I mean, Instagram, Snapchat, all those companies, it's been what, 10 years, right? And as Gen Z is, as a new generation, they want something new. And even like, and when you think about it, there's not a good way to really come across people efficiently, especially for friends, right? You have dating apps, but dating apps, you're just swiping on very superficial things, right? Like, looks and everything. But even after you match, how do you actually go deep? It's like it's 1,000 times of repeating, hey, my name is Quinn and I love tennis, I play guitar, blah blah blah, right? Like it's just actually a very tedious process to go deep with another person, right? People are too lazy to go deep. People, have trust issues. I actually don't know who they are on the other side, right? And a lot of times, even if people want to go deep, they don't know how. They don't have the apps nowadays. They're not built to help people go deep, to actually establish meaningful relationship. Because there's certainly a good amount of people who are really good at this, and there's
Mhm.
actually as I do a lot of user interviews, there's a lot of people who are not that great. Like myself, like on dating app, I'm getting no love. But I bet if you actually get to know me, I'm a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, one thing you just mentioned, I think that's very interesting is Be Real because previously I used Be Real a lot, like very often, but then I realized that I just stopped using that. I don't know, I feel like it's not that sticky anymore, and I just don't know. Like, for example, for WanderSocial, what's the differentiator of WanderSocial compared with like Be Real or other social apps? Yeah.
That is a great question. So Be Real, it's actually still doing quite well in terms of retention. Last I heard, so they have identified a really small core group of people who prefer that type of authentic interaction over Instagram. Instagram, interestingly, was also one of the most deleted apps in past year in 2023. Well, I mean, obviously they have a huge user base, so that itself doesn't mean that Instagram is going out of favor. But there is a specific group of people who likes Be Real. I think for any app, you have to identify your audience, right? Not everyone is going to be on WanderSocial. Not everyone's going to want deep connections. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like a lot of people, they prefer to scroll through TikTok for hours. That's totally fine. Like I scroll through TikTok. I love that. I love Instagram Reels. But our so to answer your question, what's different about Wander? So let me first introduce Wander Social a bit more. So the idea is that let's imagine you walk into a bar, right? There's a bartender who knows everyone. The bartender is also very good at starting and maintaining a conversation. The bartender can also very good at help you dive deeper, help you express yourself. And after a few minutes of casual conversation, the bartender will be like, "Hey, have you met this person? Because you guys have deep resonance. You guys have complementing needs. Perhaps you guys have contrasting but interesting perspectives that you guys can talk about." Right. So the bartender can also pick up signals such as, styles of language. Is the person
Mhm.
humorous? The person, open? The person maybe a little bit shy in the beginning is very good at getting the person to express more, no matter where what the person's personality is. Right. So
Mhm.
that is kind of the core idea behind Wander Social, where AI helps you express yourself, helps you dive deeper, and based on your expressions, connect you with people that you actually should come across. And there's actually a lot of use cases. So you asked me like why are people going to return on this platform? So first of all, dating apps are not made to help you date, right? Like because if you actually found love, you're going to churn, right? So dating apps is literally, it's just a gallery of people for you to swipe through. It's very similar to TikTok. You're just kind of
Yeah,
for
just
passing time,
sharing.
right? Yeah, it makes you feel that you have all those potential and possibilities of connecting with all those cute people, but you actually don't, right? Their algorithms are optimized to not let you off the app. But on Wonder Social, we actually think of ourselves, hopefully becoming the next wave of general social app that people use on a daily basis, just like Instagram. Because the idea is, let's say it's 8 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, dude, I'm feeling pretty like down these days. Like I need to I need to I'm very stressed out. My neck hurts from working too much. I want to be like, hey, I noticed in the past that you said you love tennis, and why don't you find someone to play tennis with? And what is the ideal tennis buddy profile? And I can say, hey, I want someone who's like 3.5, who can who prefers just rally and instead of a match, and want to be like, okay, noted, right? Well, if we have enough people on the platform, it's a chicken egg problem. But if we have enough people on the platform, you know, 2 hours later, one will be like, hey, I found this tennis buddy for you. And by the way, here's some of the other things that this person has expressed, right? So
Okay.
you can also get to decide whether you want to play tennis with this person. You might also see that he's a AI engineer, and my startup is looking for AI engineer, right? So you're like, oh, tennis and AI engineer, I get to come across this person, right? So think of as WanderSocial as in the future a agent, or it's a buzzword right now in AI, right? So essentially, what it means is that it kind of reasons on its own and plans out actions to help achieve a certain goal, right? So WanderSocial could be an AI agent to help you express yourself more and find the people that you want to come across. It can be for anything. Is it just for dating? Not necessarily. The best dating app is a non-dating app because guess what? Dating apps are so intentional, right? Like for a lot of women I talk to, like they hate dating app because it's just like it feels like work, and it's just, I mean, if you're a certain age that you just want to get this thing done, it's probably more efficient. But at the same time, people want this serendipitous feeling when it comes to dating. So that's why I think over the long term, WanderSocial is going to feel more serendipitous. It's going to feel more natural. It's going to be less intentional, and it's going to be more efficient because guess what? On dating apps, even after you match, you repeat yourself 1,000 times to 1,000 strangers. Here,
Mhm.
you just talk to Wander, and Wander will be like that friend that introduces you to people.
Yeah, I actually really like that idea when you say that the best dating app is a non-dating app because I feel like I on those dating app it's just feel like it's not that organic. You just meet this random person like so anyway, I'm just saying so wanted to show that the main idea is that it helps you to identify the like-minded people for you to connect. Is that right? Like
Yeah, it just to connect, you have to express, right? So I think that's our non-consensus belief that people actually want to express themselves, right? I think nowadays, like if you ask a product manager at like those companies or like an average VC investor, they would say obviously all consumer wants is to scroll through short videos all day long, like for 2-3 hours. That's all we're going to invest in is just to get people more addicted, more hooked, and just more brainless and more reactive. I don't believe that. I don't see a future where humans just sit back and do this like all day long. I don't think that's the future. I think there's a place for that. I think there's a place for that if you're waiting for a bus, right? You scroll it through, for a little bit. But I think the future is people can be their authentic self and to come across people, others that actually make their life better, that actually come across content that make their life better. And it's better not just in dopamine sense, but in the sense of you get lasting enjoyment and lasting fulfillment. I think the future of dating is not only matching, it's also about helping people to dive deep into themselves, help
yeah.
people to understand more about themselves. Like, if you ask me, what kind of woman do I want? Like, I honestly, like, it takes me a while to really think about that. And that changes all the time too. So an AI that is empathetic, that is super wise, the first thing it really matters is to help users understand themselves. And with that, you can then go out to date. That's the rest is actually simpler. in my
Oh, one more question. Like, I know that you're a Berkeley alum. I'm just wondering, like, how did your experience at Berkeley, maybe at Big Berkeley has like influence your like entrepreneurial journey? Can you talk about it? Because I graduated from Berkeley, and yeah, I just wanted to hear your journey at Cal.
I think startup is so serendipitous that no education or institution or whatever is gonna be the deciding factor. I think the deciding factor is always what is some some problem that you just truly identify with, that you truly believe needs a better solution. For me, I think I'm pretty old and I'm still single, and obviously there's something wrong with me sometimes. I think
Oh no.
and then I think a lot about this problem, and I realize it's also that there needs to be a better product. And I sometimes do a lot of soul searching around, like the things that I really care about in my life, and I realize what I really care about is not like the the material wealth or anything like that. It's more about experiences. It's more about, and for me, like I just like to share experiences with people. I'm not a huge solo traveler. Like I just, just personal preferences. I like to, share great moments with others. And I often just like find I couldn't share this. Like this beautiful sunset and this like wonderful piece of music. I just like, it's hard. It's very hard for me to find that people. And actually right around the time when I was going through Berkeley, I was in pretty deep depression because I broke up with my ex
Mm,
at the time, and I was kind of, also my previous startup failed, like I was mentioning.
mm,
Also I had a co-founder split, so that was kind of a period of time where I was just like, very very depressed, and it took me a few years to get out of it. And I got out of it because slowly I started to develop meaningful relationships, and that, having been through those ups and downs, it's a problem that's really near and dear to my heart. And also, I also kind of have the ambition of hoping to get people to better understand each other. Yeah, that could be maybe for another topic. It's don't want to dive too deep, even
yeah.
though our app is about deep dive. Maybe come on to WanderSocial to actually
Yeah.
dive deep.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. I think I believe that your experience truly made you like more a resilient person, and that also inspire you to build such a cool app. And I believe that it will truly like make people's life better. Yeah. So what's the future plan for Wonder Social? Any like exciting, I don't know, features or expansion in the pipeline? Can you tell us a little bit?
Yeah, we're really excited about our AI agent. It's kind of a mechanism on the back end, but the idea is that if you look at human around us, not everyone is a great matchmaker. Right? If you
Mhm.
look at human around us, not everyone is a great conversationalist. Like not everyone can get users to let off their guard and actually express more and go deeper. So we're also fine tuning our model to be able to really have this kind of differentiated personality, or like this personal touch when it comes to our platform, helping people dive deeper and connecting people, right? And also, yeah, not everyone is a great matchmaker. They'll have to find ways to get AI to improve on that capability. And also, we're very excited about just really launching. We haven't really launched, and even before we launch, we actually already have some very very excited users for
Mm,
our platform almost all the time. Just chatting with each other. So we're starting to see some early signals of very great retention. I
mm.
think for any consumer app, retention is the most important thing, right? Once you have retention, you can start to acquire users. Yeah, and I'm gonna say this much, and there's also gonna be some pretty magical features we're pushing out, but
Wow.
check it out. Check it out in a few weeks. But the app is usable now, so check it out now. But you'll
Wow,
see
this sounds
soon.
very exciting. Yeah, I haven't really tried that much on Wonder Social, but I do want to say I really like the user interface. I think it's super cool. Gives me the feeling like I'm in a universe, like chatting. I like the color scheme and everything.
So,
Yeah.
so the idea is that everyone should have their own community, right? So,
Mhm.
think the previous generation of, like, say, Reddit, where you're just having subreddit, Berkeley subreddit, tennis, whatever, right? Right? You go into each subreddit, but those are not necessarily the community that's like super fit for you. Because let's say I'm playing guitar for 10 years, and if I go to a guitar forum and every question is about, like, how to pick up guitar, like what's the book to recommend, I'm going to find it not interesting, right? Whereas here on Wonder Social, you express first, and based on expressions, you start to see a community forming around you, right? So one way to visualize this is that it's almost like you walk into a room, right? And you start just expressing, you just start talking, right? And slowly people who are interested in what you have to say start to gather around you, right?
Mm.
People, perhaps have deep resonance. People have complementing needs. People have, interesting, differentiated perspective. They start to, want to talk to you based on what you say, right? So that's kind of how to visualize kind of Wonder Social forming a community around you.
Mm-hmm.
And that also highlights this why dating app doesn't work, because you don't ever walk into a room with people just lined up and you say, okay, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. You know what I mean? Like that's not how real human interaction works
That's true.
for everyone.
Yeah. Okay, one last question. So, do you have any like advice or, for the young entrepreneurs or like aspiring founders?
You just gotta start. You just gotta start. I'm gonna quote Mark Zuckerberg directly, because ideas is not gonna be fully formed. Like literally, in the past few weeks, we have like three new feature ideas, and we're testing them out. And you you just gotta start. You just gotta start. You gotta you gotta you gotta, but you have to. I think the key is to really be authentic about what you care about, because a lot of times people want to build startup for the sake of building a startup. That's honestly not the but well, even that, if you want to start a company, start, right. You're probably gonna have some setbacks, but that's just what's required. And I think one piece of advice I would really give is, start, but make sure you have the foundation to keep going at it, right.
Mm-hmm.
So things like, you gotta have a little bit of financial cushion to be able to at least be able to eat and sleep well, right? My previous startup, I wasn't even sleeping and eating well, because I put too much money into it, and it was, yeah. So your psychology is, you have to get your mental state into a space where you can be very, very resilient. You can be very, very you can last for years, right. It's also, you have to be mentally prepared to do this for years, and then you have to also forget about all the alternatives of, like, high paying jobs in tech, and just forget about that, right. Don't regret, be really happy. I think that's where I am right now. Like every day, I'm genuinely very happy about my life. So that you have a good foundation, and pick something that you're authentically passionate about. And I think maybe this is too detailed, but I think you should. I think using startup founders should talk to as many users as possible, like constantly, and be willing to admit that this is not something people want, and pivot. Actually, in the past year, I've pivoted three times already, right? But
Mm-hmm.
then I found some traction with this idea, so that's why I'm working on it and scaling it. Now that's why I'm doing interview on this idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a successful founder yet, so my advice probably doesn't mean much. But just start. The most important thing is just start. Just start. Just working on it. Quit school for a few years, or quit job for a few years, but make sure you have the foundation. Once you have the foundation, if you really want to do it, just do it. Just do it. Forget about what other people say, whether it's a bad idea, whatever. If it's a bad idea, you're gonna learn a bunch. Just start.
Mhm. It's great advice. Very, very good advice. I think a
Just
lot.
start and don't give up. Just
Yeah,
stop and don't give up, unless your foundation is gone, right?
that's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, if anyone wanted to, reach out to you, what's the best way that they can reach out to you, like LinkedIn or I don't know, 小红书? Which one do you prefer?
I think
Let us.
LinkedIn is probably the best. Just find me. I think my name is pretty unique. It's Quinn Sure, so it's Sure, right? So QUINSURE, Quinn Sure on LinkedIn. We're looking for a lot of people. We're looking for marketing. We're looking for operations. We're looking for just go to market in general, and design. And Yeah, yeah, we're looking for a lot of people.
Where are you
Uh,
based? In Palo Alto or Canada or?
Yeah, so most of our engineers are in Toronto, Canada, but most of our design operation, machine learning, AI research is based in here in Silicon Valley in the Bay Area.
Okay, got it. Hopefully that you can lock in some like good candidates after this video has been published.
Yes, yes. Like people say you should go raise money. Like I often think, if you can get great people to join your team, that's
Mhm.
like 10 times more effective than raising
Okay.
money. Because even after you raise, you have to hire, right? You know what I mean? Like it's not automatic that you raise money and get great people. Even if like raise money from the top funds, and you get a lot of like people who just, who are very institutionalized thinking. That's what I call it. It's just like, this company has great funds investing, and therefore it's a great company. I don't want any of those people, honestly.
Mhm.
I want
God.
people who are genuinely passionate about this idea and who are just like works really hard and actually really, really smart.
Thank you
Cool.
so much for sharing, Quinn. I'm so happy to have you here. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope you find Quinn's journey from VC to entrepreneurship very inspiring. At least I did. And also, I'm very curious, what's your thoughts on the current dating apps? Do you think the future of dating apps is a non-dating app? Share your thoughts in the comment section. I would love to chat with you. And also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel or my newsletter, please subscribe. And I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, until next time, I'll see you around. Bye.